I guess if you should come into the question when we wake up in the morning, why should I take the blue pill or the red pill? What's the difference between the two? Well, at Trinity Stand, you come into opposition locations. You can be who you want to be or be who you're supposed to be. Understanding who we are is truly understand all positions of what do I do? You know, I did a 3-minute video about the whole concept about falling into that rabbit hole and seeing how far it goes, right? That's a Trinity Standing comes into that position line conditions, new earth operation. So it's very powerful when we come into those position locations. It's amazing how we grasp the situations. Once you guys get into all level system, the more you go into the mind, the more it makes sense. And it's all about understanding the conscious level becomes its reality, which is already created through your system, right? So it's amazing how it has this incredible force that's given to you. So long and behold, you won't have to worry about anything through this connection to the red pill or the blue pill, right? It's all about understanding the difference between the two, the difference between the red and the difference between the blue. Now, it's all positioned to you, right? It helps you in all ways and forms because it puts you in a stagnatic wire, a communication signal, an off system line center, rotation positions, a box center locations, a metric line interference. When you go to higher level rotation, you have to truly understand you are calculating to all levels of what you do through your thoughts and how it's created through the mind system. Because the mind is all knowing of space time, right? All right, so make sure you drink your water. I'm going to be traveling today. The more we travel, the more you understand. And every time you get your code line rotation position locations, it comes into the activation circles. So we're going to go through a matrix loop. Now, a matrix loop is about understanding opposite line center. So think about you're driving through a car and you're turning around. You're driving through a car and you're turning around. You're driving through a car and you're turning around. So you're going forward and then you're turning around. You're going forward and then you're turning around. So that's understanding the loop. You keep going through that consistency, right? So the faster you go, the more you have to get balance. And people are not aware of what happens when they go through cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles. It's getting the balance with you through vortex or anything through travel box line rotation times pi times square, anything times 8 line center locations, 7 positions, 6 in location. It's all about understanding all levels of 1 activation, 2 correlation interference, 3 program setting, 4 within activation system, 5 within calculation, 6 within program, 7 within all levels of realm through portal locations, 8 within all position location teleportation line connections, and 9 with a new cycle rotation. Okay, and 10 comes into digital. Once you come into digitals of 2 digit line center positions, now you come to full communication of Vega, right? So it's very powerful when you come in those positions of time. It locks its system rotations. So when we're going to be traveling through the matrix, you get a better understanding why we're there. What happens next? How do I get into the strategic mind? How do I understand my program of my mind? Because that's what we live on, right? And then we realize the aspects of this disappears. Okay? So that's a true standing concept. And say, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Where am I going with this? How far do I have to go? Well, it's all about you understanding you through the soul, right? A very powerful video all about positions, about listening to the soul and what it wants. You're not confused. You're not crazy. You're in a normal situation. You're just in a different change of a different atmosphere. That's it. You're in a different ground. You're in a different power of you. You try to understand the conception line center to all positions to your fingers. What is your fingers? And then you realize it's intelligence and understand how to use it through track system or anything line conditions. So everything that you pick up is you, right? It's just a higher formation, trying to understand the vibrations to everything around you. The sensitivity line interference comes up to high level rotation to its calculations. The clocking system for everything that position locations. All right. So It's all about you understanding your minds of imagination. Okay? And what you are creating through your thoughts. Thoughts create everything through vibration. Getting connection with everything is difficult. It's like everybody has to communicate through their phones, through the audio signals right now, right? People are having troubles with their phones. People are having troubles with their minds. People are having troubles with their body, heart, soul, right? That's the positions of them because they're not understanding their realities anymore. So nature finds a way to resource your system, try to understand your calculations, try to understand your modifications, you simulize all levels of simulation connections, right? Even your modulation patterns. Now, a modulation pattern is trying to understand your colorations of dimensional lock centers and position locations of loop-de-loop-de-loop-de. That loop system line connection is all about understanding how to go through all levels of your torical fields, how to go through that cycle. So it's like you going through a tunnel and you're going, and you keep going and 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 going until you understand what you're doing, right? If you keep going around and around and around and around and around, yeah, you're going to get dizzy. But if you keep going around and around and around and around and understand why you're going around, you get out of the dizziness. You understand? So it no longer has become what? The practical system becomes more of a forming system. It becomes more of a program system. It becomes more of a mind of imagination. Because everything that you see around you, everything that you wear, okay, is created, right? Through energy. It has to, because that's what we live on, right? So the energy is everything through form. Frequencies are everything through tone. Everything through vibration is everything through ground system, through clocking centers, right? And everything through harmonic resistance is communication. These are the things: 5 within the system, 6 within activation, 7 within the body, 5 within the atmosphere. It's the conscious levels that you have to understand what the mind is. Okay. Once you grasp that situations, okay, this will no matter be in position location anymore. You won't have to worry about these things, about the red pill or the blue pill. All right? Because you've gone past the system to calculation modifications. Now you got balance with everything in rotation. A lot of people are coming to me and asking me about these questions, and it's all about you. You have to find a way to answer your own, right? That's the true understanding when you come into all levels of you. It's the programs of you, it's the activation system, it's the lights. Don't you want to get to know yourself better? Like really understand self revelation of you, self discovery of you, right? Come into your self channels, coloration and lights, how to box center line interference, how to go through shape, how to travel through direction of clock center. It's very complicated stuff, rotations, right? You notice I'm drinking water faster and faster, right? Because my clocking system. So think of it this way: it's a compass. Your whole body's a compass. Like you probably already knew that. So that's a training stand how to keep the levels in balance. You can't tip it over because what's happening? What are you doing? What's happening, right? You're too much on one side. So you got to bring it. This is it. This is what life is. Life is like this. Okay. This is what's going on with you, with your chakra system, right? So as soon as you create a thought, that's what's going on right now. So the water is at temperature reading, right? You got the sun, you got the moon inside line center, flux capacitor, right? So you have to put all together to the grounds, everything to the fires, airs, and everything through positions, how to travel through the portal activation system through the matrix. Okay. So that's a whole understanding is when you come into a matrix loop, right? You go circle, 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 circle. Now, if you go this way, what are you doing? You're going too much on one side. Are you going too much on the other side? Are you going too far back on this side? Are you going too far ahead on this side? Right? So it's very important to extend your travels of clocking system all through water. What is water? Understand the water flow. Everything has to flow, right? Everybody wants to know the answer, right? Everybody wants to have something on a silver platter. It doesn't work that way. Okay. This is a long process. This is a life process. Okay. But the beginning process is this, right? So true understanding to that position line center, right? How far do you want to go to understand who you are? And the only way to do that is go back to the beginning, a new beginning. Oh, I have to go back to the beginning again? It's not going again. You're coming into a new life cycle. Don't you want to figure out who you are? How to understand your hands, how to understand everything around you? Okay? Is amazing. It's a mechanism. It's a power. It's a recognition. It positions to solar direction. It's a solar light. It's a connection activation system. It's a surface position line connector. It's a clocking system. It's a travel mixture, a timeline center. Truly understand connections, right? So the thing is, too, you have to understand what's going on with you. And I keep saying that every single time. What is the purpose of this? What does this all mean? Why should I be listening to this? Well, it's important for you, or how are you going to get anything you want through life? You want to go forward in life, or you want to be basically stay in the center line center? You're not going to move forward. Your clocking system is going to be very confused. Your ground doesn't understand you anymore. You're going to have separation in the heart line center. You're going to be over this way. You're going to be over that way. Where are you going to be? Right? And then you fall back into the trap of this, to the red pill, the blue pill. It's all up to you. That is just an example. That's all this is. It's just putting you into positions to understand how powerful you are when you wake up from these things. Okay. And the whole understanding is really get into the process. What is the dream? What is the awakening? What is the ascension? What is the unify? It's all position of you through your conscious levels. That's it. It's the levels that you reach, higher levels of the mind. And you guys are going extremely high. And you're understanding more of your system, right? Yes, you're going to have triggers, right? But what does triggers do for you, right? It makes you stronger, right? So what does it do to the mind? It comes into more adaptation. It comes into more center. It comes into more clarity. It comes into more vision. It comes into more intelligence. It comes into more communication, right? That's the hardest thing. And then you come to all levels, to your family. I can't communicate with family anymore because they keep talking about the same thing. That's a program. Okay. That's repetitious over and over and over and over and over because you get tired of it, and it's very hard to put yourself in position of familia, because it's hard because they don't understand you through connections, and they don't understand the line system of rotation, anything through vibration, because we all live through the vibration. But we have to understand the forming system of its energy. We have to understand the frequency tones of its energy. And we have to understand all levels of communication, harmonic resistance of its energy. That's the only way we can move forward in life. And we have to accept people for who they are. If they're not ready, they're not ready, right? It's harder for them to understand these things, right? That's the fallouts, right? So when they're not ready, you just leave it alone. But eventually they know they have to figure out, hey, wait a minute, I want to be this guy. Or I want to be this woman. And I said, no, just be yourself. Don't try to be something that you're not, right? Being a fake somebody and a real nobody are two different signals here. Okay, so it's kind of like make believe. I'm making believe I want to be this. Like with acting, it's just make believe. That's it. You're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. You're becoming that character. You're understanding what it is. So you are your own connection. You are your own director. You are your own play. You are your own control system. Okay. You are your own script. Okay. And you have to figure these things out for yourself. And it's all done through shadow work. We've been through this before. I like to go through reviews for all the new viewers trying to understand what's going on. Let me know. I'll set up a video for you. Okay. From 2 to 4 on YouTube. But this is more advanced, because the thing is, too, if I give low vibrations, they'll get more confused. I say, what do you mean they'll get more confused? Because they're higher levels of the mind, right? This is the true understanding. It's got to be in this. If I give them low information, they're going to be, right? So, and then I got to, so they got to be at that level. right? So that's the whole understanding through all positions when you come to the basics, the intermediate, or into the advanced. And that's what we're into, position 9 to 11. But after that, from 2 to 4, I can do the basics and the grounds to understand. Give me something specific for the new viewers to understand position location. So what's going on? I don't understand this. Well, what do you don't understand? Right? Talk to everybody. They talk about the same thing. It comes down to the same thing: the dream, the awakening, the ascension. The unified system of you is just the awakening of you. That's it, right? The clarity of you, the visions of you. Oh, I still don't get it. Well, what do you don't get? So, what is it they're not doing? They're not communicating to what? Inside. How are you supposed to understand yourself if you don't communicate inside? It's self discovery. You're coming into a new cycle, a new rotation, a new calculation, a new circulation, a new pattern, a new energy. That's all it is. A newer vibration, right? So it's very hard if you don't understand the communications of your system, right? So it all positions you and what you want to do, right, with your system. Okay, do you want to know more? And the thing is, too, when you merge to different vibrations, over time, you'll start to calculate and you come back into a whole level of a new cycle and communicate with different people at your vibration. And that's what this is all about. Because then you realize, oh, my family's here, but you respect that. You can't change them. That's where they want to be. But eventually they will come up when they want to, right? So this is where the mind, the body, heart, and the soul has to come into one. It has to come into one. Or what's the point of doing this, right? So they have to go through all levels of them, right? They have to truly understand who they are through their own ascension. It's the ascending of the ascension to get into the enlightenment, not immortality, just the enlightenment. All right. So, and you can't second guess yourself. Okay. So when you go to higher level system, it's next to impossible to start thinking of these things because you're going extremely fast. See, the placebo, okay, you have to understand what that is. It's all position of you through your thoughts. So your brain's going forward, your mind's going forward, your thoughts are going forward, your activation's going forward, your intelligence going forward, okay? Your visionary cortexes are going forward. Your preliminaries are going forward. Everything's going forward. Right? So you're doing exceptionally well. So don't worry about it, right? But as soon as you doubt, you go back. So you can have the mind going forward, the body in the center, the heart's not sure what's going on, and now you have full separation. You can't do that, the clocking system, when you're at a higher level, because that's when the dark line centers, anti-line interference will come into program setting and take over your program. All because you don't believe in yourself, right? It's the believing seeing to positions to its phenomenon. You guys are in your phenomenon, so you have to really stay more into the clarity of center rotation now. You got to stay more in your programs, okay? This will help you more and more when you travel more in the mind system, and that's what you guys are coming into. You're coming more into its imagination, which is more real because you're traveling faster, right? For the people that are not awake, they're traveling slower, but we're all aligned to each other. We just forget these things, right? So it's all about humanity waking up, not just to themselves, but to everything else, right? And they realize, oh, wow, sovereignty, freedom, cool, right? Oh, wow, inner line, center, rotation, position, line, condition. There's intelligence that I just remembered. Boom, right? So you start remembering more and more and more and more and more and more. And then you realize, once you realize who you are, then you start connecting to other people of who they are in their past life, because everybody's had a past life with them. Okay, and that comes into the spiritual guides. The spiritual guide is just your consciousness of you. Okay, but it becomes more real when you go to higher levels of the mind. The mind is the creation of all imagination, guys. It's a magical wonderland. So what happens is when you go to those levels, it affects everything that you do. Every single day you say something, it connects right away. Right? And if you go off the cycle, now you're in the matrix. Now you're in the glitch. Now you're in the loop. Okay? So it's kind of like I say, okay, I just finished watching the Matrix, and all of a sudden, what's going on? There's a glitch. I'm seeing a same cat, the same color going the same time. That's change. So it's all what you see through perception. Okay? You say something with your thoughts. but you're not sure what you just said, but you say it anyway. That's the matrix. Okay. Matrix is a way how you put all levels of your thoughts and patterns, how you use it as tone, how you use it as travel, how you use it as clocking, how you delegate things with your family, how you communicate with your kids, how you go things with your positions of your, all levels of entertainment, anything, your connections with schooling, events, driving, anything that you do. Every time you change your thought, what is happening? You're coming into the matrix. Okay. So the matrix is a lock, a division line center. It's positioned to you understand your strategic line positions and how to get into the mind of imagination to your thoughts to get out of these through its equations. That's the matrix. People are asking me, what is the matrix? Why did you create the matrix? Well, the question is, why did we create humanity? Wait a minute. Why did we create planets? Hold on. Why did we create energy? Without energy, vibration, frequency, and harmonic resistance, nothing would be created. Think about that for a second. Think about it. You ever think that far back and realize how everything was created? Has that ever crossed your mind? How powerful we are? We just forget, right? And it all comes down to this, on what you want to do, right? So, all right. So let's get into travel to the matrix. Yes. Let's go into your questions first before we travel. Tina, how's it going? Christopher, how's it going? Janet, no problem, Janet. Take it easy. Alexis, Ellen, how you doing? Lauren, how you doing? Lauren, I got all your questions. That's why I'm giving you guys all these things with the matrix loop. You get a better understanding how when you go through cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles, they understand why you're in the cycle. To get out of this cycle is understand the source of this position. It's you putting your thoughts over and over and over and over because you can't move forward in life, because you want to know so much so quickly. That's not how it works. You have to be calm. Perseverance, never give up, right? Have the peace and tranquility in you, right? Get into the oceans of you, get into the sun of you, okay? You have to find a way to distract yourself so you can keep going forward without thinking negative, okay? Because negative is now more of creation to you because you're traveling more faster in the mind, so the imagination becomes more real to its relation to its connection outside system, okay? So it's what you perceive. Be cautious on these things because you're projecting this and you're creating this. Okay. And it affects you and everybody else to that connections, right? From one thought. Okay. Because it's magnetic and it's energy, it's forming. Everything is created through thought. This is created through thought. It's all through program. Right. So think of this as data. Right. First off, you create the plastic. Second, create the top. Right. You have to say, okay, so how do I put water in a container? Because if I didn't have water container, it'd be all over me, right? So it's structure. You can have it small, big, whatever you want. You got little, medium, high size, position, line, center. But truly understand, everything in water has to be contained, right? So it's important to understand these things, right? But this is all through what? Program, right? Data, uplinks, downloads, upgraded system. How to structure this, right? So when you change a frame, you create it. It's a container, but it's higher, and then it's higher, and then it's higher, right? But you're creating the same thing. So this could be thinner, this could be fatter, right? But it holds the water. That's the purpose. That's the purpose, is to hold the water in the container. You understand? So that's why you have the grounds of you. That's why you have the fires of you. That's why you have the air. That's why you have the water. Water has to be contained or there's no program. Your life is a program. Okay? Program in a sense of seeing things that's created through structure. Everything is connected to a map. Your whole body of space is a map. 2 direction, 2 locations. So what happens when you're finished? You distribute, right? And you give back. This is giving back. I'm giving you this, right? Now you have something to contain that's in water, right? So you have to understand creation of source, because you have to look at different things in detail. You have to find a way to see things in different realities. Now, what reality is this in? It's what you perceive through your position. That's your reality. So also, what's a routine? You pick this up. You drink this every single day. That's your reality. That's your program. Okay? So it's all about understanding what you do with the water, right? Why it came into this, so it can go down the throat, right? Because if it wasn't created, how can the water, go down you without spilling? So it has a top, right? It's interesting how this is plastic, but this is a different color, right? So everything's created through what? Data, okay? Which is a program, okay? So that's how energy is created. It's all created through your DNA. It's all positioned to you. So the mind is what? The mind is the imagination to its creation, okay? What is the thought? Thought is its creation of travel, all right? So you have to truly understand how to use this through its illustration, because you're drawing it out, right? Illustration, diagram, program, settings. The schematics of you. This is a schematic. This is a map. This is creation, circle, right? Understand what it is. But you can't just identify what it is. You have to identify what it is in all levels of dimensions. Now, you guys are trying to understand that this is just structures of water, but it is contained in its system. So this holds the water. That's the creation. Okay? So you have to look at and see things in a different way. Okay? And not just see things in your way. So, and this gives you more levels of expansion when you go more into travel of distance, and you're bringing back more data. Okay, uplinks, downloads, operating systems, all through your flash drive connections, right? So there's a lot to learn. All right, Angela, how you doing? Questions or comments to go on my TikTok live? You want to be upgraded or programs or anything in position location? A lot of confusion, interface lately, and misdirection. Yep. Well, that's it. So let's go in position. Why is Angela experiencing a lot of confusion? Anybody help me out? If you want to help humanity, you have to learn yourself first, right? If you can't help yourself, how are you supposed to help people with questions, right? So Angela's been experiencing a lot of confusion with interface lately and misdirection. Why? Can you answer that? If you can't answer that, you have problems with yourself. Makes sense, doesn't it? Your clockings could be off, your grounds could be off, your powers could be off, your chakra systems could be off, or you're just not connecting to anything, right? The whole point we're trying to do here is to give back to humanity to make them feel more efficient. Okay, put themselves in a more calming center. Put it more in a comfortable level, right? That's a true understanding. When you get into your own positions, you know how to give back. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Now I understand. Now I feel better. All because of that question. You answered it for me. Thank you. Right? So that's the importance you have to understand. Right? And you have to truly put yourself in positions. Okay. And how you would feel on the other end. Right? So what do you have to do? You have to break down the psychological of that person, right? Step by step by step by step. Really get to know them through their soul, not the physical, the soul. Okay. So that's the importance, right? Now she's going into a lot of confusion because her wires are trapped. She's interfacing with too many clocking and centers. The misdirection, she's not traveling to the right location. That's it. Done. Easy, 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 easy. Bounce, 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 bounce. So if you can balance yourself, you can help humanity. If you can't balance yourself, you cannot help humanity, right? And then you say, oh, no, I'm really frustrated. I just messed up. You just didn't mess up. You just didn't pay attention. So there you go, Angela. I can help you with that. Miswired cross-line centers, a clacking system, misdirection. That's it. That's the only problem you're having. It's got to be easy to the point. Tina can help you with that because when she comes on, she knows her commanding system, but she does it in form where it makes sense for everybody to understand. You know, clocking center, interference positions, and high-level rotations, back in calculation. Done. Right? There's no thinking. The thinking is hesitation, and that puts you in the matrix loop. Okay? So, all right. Jenny, how you doing? Yeah, you have to decentralize yourself before you come into unified ascension, Lauren. Okay, so it's all about breaking down first. You can't be ascended until you let go of your past position to get into a unified system to its ascension, right? Seeking knowledge outside is no longer necessary. Learning how to operate our center point positions, locations through simulation games. See? Easy, direct, right? The proactive system is much easier to understand. If you get too complicated, you know, I'm watching a lot of TikTok videos and they're saying things, they're on the right track, but it's humanity scratching their heads, right? So if I'm calculating, you'll never understand my language until you get into your activation system. And people say, well, why do I have to be activated? Well, I don't know. Why do we have to live? So think about it that way. What's the point of this if you don't understand the track system line conditions? The importance is to understand to get into the merging of you to its perception, to get what you want through manifestations, right? So, all right, Christopher, how's it going? Smith, how you doing? Yeah. Every single day, what do we do? What do we do? We get questions and we answer them. We get questions and we answer them. That's all we do every single day. We're trying to find who we are through questions and answers, right? It gets confusing if we can't get things answered, especially when humanity is basically driving blind, right? So there you go. Dance party, yeah. Okay, being observed constantly, nothing gets by until, yeah, that's exactly. Go through the rabbit hole when connecting. Yeah, so try not, Lauren, to put yourself in so many levels of programs. You're fast tracking way too quickly. You're trying to understand so much and not put yourself in you. Okay, you're getting all the answers, right? But you're not understanding the position to its calculations, right? So it's kind of like knowing everything, but knowing nothing. All right. So you have to truly understand the step procedures, and these things take time. Put yourself in the calm. Know that you're going to be okay, right? Going like too quickly, too fast. No, you're going to be off track and you're going to put yourself in glitch, right? It's not going to just disrupt you. It's going to disrupt everything around your circle that you created for yourself. Whoever comes into your family, whoever you open the door to, will be in your location, your timeline. Okay. You're creating these things, right? You're trying to find the creation. And once you find the creation, you take your past, your present, and your future into one. That's the center of all operation, right? So you're understanding the questions, you just don't know how to get there. Everybody has a process and they have to understand their datas and their uplinks and downloads and upgrading system. What is this all through calculations? Stop focusing on going forward so much. Just focus on you in the presence of now. That will put you in a better position of time lock system. Okay? So, all right. Let's see. No hiding, no dance. Such bright lights. Yep. Commander, how you doing? See me dance. putting my dance headdress on. Oh, good. The thing is, too, is if you want to get better, just say you're better. Now you're saying, well, wait, it didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? What did I do wrong? What am I doing right? Did I do anything? What happened? So you're asking yourself, if you have a cold and it didn't work, why? Because you didn't believe in yourself. You didn't have the control. You didn't have the command. And this takes practice. It takes practice to actually communicate inside and understand the vibration. Vibration, your body has feelings. It's electrical feeling. Think how powerful that is, right? So you're hurting yourself in mechanisms if you keep putting this. It's a strangulation of a hole through triangle-line interference. You don't want to do that through rotations. Okay, you're going to destroy your Merkabas, your tesseracts, and your tetrahedrons, right? And it's going to, and then you got to build it all up again, right? When you travel. Okay, the contrast value to your position is how much it values you, right? So, all right, Terminator sunglasses, spinning now. Well, yeah. I know you guys are on the matrix loop, but that's the whole point. See, I'm talking, but you guys are traveling. So I don't have to set up the code. It's already set up. So that's why you're seeing these things, right? I don't need the structure board. It's already up here, stored. There's so many ways to do these things through codes, okay? That's great. Listening, looking, watching. All right. Hearing my husband's thoughts he said sometimes. See, it's amazing when you guys go loop-de-loop through matrix, right? Yeah. And thing is, too, you guys are coming into memory of everybody else, right? And that's the matrix loop. A matrix loop is a lock dimensional interference. So basically, what you guys are in is you're going into programs of you and somebody else. You're seeing their dreams. You're seeing their programs. You're seeing their activations. That's the matrix loop. That's lock interference. So it's understanding your program, but you're seeing somebody else's program. I want you guys to understand these things because you have to understand to put yourself in their shoes and how they would feel through their position, where they are through their dimension, where they are through their energy, where they are through their problems, right? Because your problems becomes their problems. Okay. And that's a whole understanding how to answer these questions to make humanity feel safe and calm. Okay. So wife doesn't understand, but we've been together 25 years. There's some things I know. So everything around me was I thinking? Did you know what he was thinking? Did you confirm? Trip a bit. So you guys are getting to know yourself more through psychological interference, which is what I want, right? So you can observe, just know, Lauren, try not to get all your questions answered all in one day. That's what you want, Lauren, right? You want a high rise right away. You want to know everything. It doesn't work that way. It's a process. Life is a process, okay? It's not Speedy Gonzales, Underlay, me. No, it's not Roadrunner, all right? So, because the coyote is always trying to find a way to put down the Roadrunner, right? He comes up with these inventions, and he tries to find a way to, distract the bird, but the bird always wins. Why? Why does the Roadrunner always win? Somebody tell me that? Why does the Roadrunner? I used to watch that all the time. The coyote always tries so hard to catch the bird. Why is the bird smarter? Right? Because the bird doesn't think. It knows what to do next. So, and this is true understanding is the Roadrunner understands the coyote even before he does these things. Right? So that takes out a hesitation. The same with the tortoise and the hare. Perfect example, with the turtle and the rabbit. right? The race between the two. Yeah, the rabbit's really fast. Right, getting into a race. There's a line right there. Gun goes off, right? You know, rabbit's going, and the tortoise is do 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 do. So what happens eventually, right? The rabbit runs out, and the turtle just do 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 and wins the race, right? So what are you doing? Moving too fast, thinking you're going to win psychologically, right? You think you're going to win, but you don't. And you realize why the tortoise won. Perfect example. Or basically little things, fairy tales like the choo-choo that could and climb up the hill. I know I can. I know I can. I know I can. Oh, no, I know I can. So that train was trying to go up that hill, but every time it goes up the hill, it comes back down, But the confidence, just break the walls, break the walls, break the walls. And then the choo-choo could, and then it slides down like a roller coaster, right? It's the confidence. Okay, that's why, Mother Goose and fairy tales and everything has a message. Whether you understand that or not, it's all psychological to you. These are the stepping stones of the meaning of life, of you. All right, it's all programs of you. Okay, how you can understand you, right? More and more each day of your life. That is the meaning of life. That is the meaning of purpose. Okay, so. That's my favorite show, yeah. The analogy of Roadrunner and the coyote. Me. So it's very powerful when you come into that. But I'm just saying, and the tortoise and the hare, I mean, those are very powerful. And the choo-choo that could, right? So it's all about you through confidence. How powerful are you to understand your body? So when you start controlling your body starts connecting to you finally. You start communicating, right? And it's amazing what you can do. You are the communication. You are the control. You are the force. You are the command, right? Inside. Okay. And it becomes more easier. And it's just practice every single day. I mean, you have 24 hours. What can you do within that 24 hours? Even if you have 8 hours a day and you go to work, you still have more time to do these things. Isolate yourself and get to know yourself, right? Listen to music. You can read a book, but use it as entertainment. Okay. Don't try to use so much levels of what's going on with your life. Your life is all levels of you inside. Okay. So you're just creating space inside you so you can manifest these things to all levels through this track system. Okay. So I'm giving you so many perfect examples with the Roadrunner and the tortoise and the hare and the choo-choo that could, right? So Dustin, how you doing? All right, so communications to the line system rotations, calculation modification line center. All right, come to all rotation connections. Now, this is a cube, right? So you guys are in the center operation, trying to understand everything that's going on. All positions this way, that way, this way, this way, that way, this way, this way. Try to understand everything to program. Okay, everything's a program. So you got point centers of up, point centers of across, down, location line center rotation, right? So each program is given to you so you can understand each other more, right? Because everybody has problems every single day they get up in the morning. It's next to impossible not to have a problem. You just have to find a way to get out of it. And that's all done through what? The mind of imagination. See, people don't understand the creation of imagination, what it is, the illustration. So if you're in a situation, let's say you had a fight with somebody yesterday, right? It's somebody that you really care about. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to make it worse, or are you going to make it better? Are you going to give it 2 or 3 days? All right, the clock's on. I'll give it 2 or 3 days. They'll call. Yeah. I can see that. So you're asking yourself, is it making it worse or is it making it better? Do I just leave it alone or I just let it go? Right? A lot of people do erratic things. Some people just move because they can't handle it. And that's all position locations in that system. So you put yourself in what situations, right? So when you understand how to use your energies, you can change your thoughts, which changes their position locations to their travel markers of time. So it's all about understanding their space and their time position. Because when you come into my life, you're into my space and my time position, right? That's why it's so real. Because I've already created everything. And now I'm just creating. And the now, which puts me in a 5,000 year foundation system, that's where the mine is. Because I know I'm in 5,000 years in the future. I had no doubt in my mind I'm 5,000 years in the future at 7,021, right? So proving it is another thing. But why do I have to prove something which you have to prove to yourself? Because we're on different timelines, but all positioned to its alignment, to connections, right? So we're both telephone away, communication to the system, right? So, all right. Made me forget what I already experienced. Yep, that's exactly what it is. And see, that puts you in a better position of time. Perfect example with the tortoise and the hare, Lauren, right? And so time precedes everything. The tortoise wasn't thinking about winning, it was just pacing. But the tortoise took off, you know? So what was it doing? Passing the hare. Bye. But it just, I mean, it's all about psychological interference. It's trying to understand how we live our systems, and we try to understand the psychosis of our system, all through the metaphysical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual of ourselves. But what comes first? What comes first if we're a physical system? The spiritual adaptation. Okay? Not the physical alignment, because you're already in that position. It's the spiritual. That's what humanity doesn't understand. They don't understand change. It's very hard if you don't understand change. Everything in your body changes, right? Everything changes. Your whole life changes in a blink of an eye, right? Everything's dark and now everything's light. Whoa, what just happened? Whoa, I'm seeing these things move. What's going on? Whoa. So you come into your reality of its awakening. Now I'm awake, right? What's going on through rotation line positions? What did you do through me through calculation line conditions? You're in position location, higher force line center rotation position. You're back into communication line center to its condition. See? Very fast, very efficient, very effective. Proactive system just comes balanced in so many level rotation conditions. So you communicate with yourself every single day until you go levels of more position of higher mind lines in that connections. You come to higher programs and you realize, okay, well, this is not me anymore. I'm communicating to higher position of vibration. Once you break those barriers, now you're connected to higher levels of space. And then you start living, and then you become space, and then you are space. So that means you got balance with the yin and the yang aspects of you, the male and the female aspects of space and time now. Nothing to worry about. Now you can get back to humanity because you got balance with everything. But even still, even if you have balance with everything, you have to understand it's important to stay in that balance. And that's very hard for a lot of people because they don't understand the conceptual of system to positions. Communicate with your car, communicate with the tree, right? Communicate with somebody else's car, especially when you get in somebody else's car. Different energy, right? Different time, different ancestry, different history. You sit in somebody else's car, it's different energy, right? You don't know what it is until you wake up from these things. And then you say, whoa, okay. What just happened? It's like a shockwave to you because you realize, whoa, I don't like this. You get a gut feeling, you're in a location and you say, no, I'm not going to go into that building. It's dark. Dark in a sense of saying that it's using your conscious levels, whether what you want to do or whether you don't want to do. right? That puts you in a better position of protecting yourself. That's all that is. It's the conscious levels of you. Okay. So you come into the sub, you come into the sub training, then you come into the super of its conscious levels, and then you come into all levels of your higher self, and you come to a higher level system of your avatars. Okay. So when I come to higher self, I'm just talking about higher levels of consciousness that you're creating through its imagination. So the more you high rise, you can become more of a child, because that's what a child does. It does everything through imagination, and then it starts talking to itself, which is itself through higher formation. So everything that you're illustrating becomes real. You saw me do these structures every single day. You know how powerful it is, right? So it's like pop-ups. You open up a book, poof, wow. So you can create that and just let it come to life, right? And it reacts. It's like Bewitched, right? With Tabitha. Tabitha had she had an over-controlling system, right? And the mother basically had a hard time trying to, connect with her. She wanted animals to come to life. She wanted this, she wanted that. So she was trying to figure out what she was doing with her powers, but she didn't have any control, right? And the mother was always trying to control her daughter, right? I know it's superstitious, but it was just a program. It's a TV show, right? Bewitched. So, and that's a true understanding how you have to control your powers. Okay, because it becomes more real to you when you understand you through its ego, right? You can't use superpowers if you have your egos in front of you, because you still have a lot to learn. Learning is a process of knowing through imagination, right? So the more you come into the mind, the more it comes into adaptation, a balance, right? It's the calming center of everything through operation, guys, right? And it just keeps going forward, 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 right? That's what the placebos do. And the cortex line signals everything through your spine, puts you in a better position when you sleep, right? But just be cautious in what you create. Creating to position line center, say everything through projecting. You're observing this, you're observing that, you're seeing this, you're seeing that, you're driving here, you're driving there. Just be cautious in what you do. It's all about protecting you, right? And everything around your kids and your family, right? So when you get into a better position of life, everything starts manifesting very fast, very easy. Dun, 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 dun. Perfect example. My Sacred Flame position. She was working. She worked 14 hours, 15 hours yesterday. They have a gift exchange in Mexico, right? So she's staying at 3-4 extra hours. So they had kind of like how we come into, pulling numbers, right? And if you pull a number, you get a gift or you get money, right? So she pulled it out of the hat, and it was her lucky number, 13, right? And that's all she said. Oh, lucky number 13, right? So right away, 13 number came up, 4,000 pesos. Hoo-ah. See? It's all about understanding your imagination, what you can do through creation, right? She didn't think about the process of money. She just knew it was her lucky number. So, and that's how the universe system works. Okay. It says, oh, I want some money. It doesn't work that way. Okay. You're too greedy. And that's what money is. It's greedy, it's control, it's command. So you have to surrender to these things. Right. So it's very simplified. 13 number came up, she won. Right. Without even thinking, no thought process. Okay? Don't confuse yourself, because you're confusing the anomalies and levels of vibration to its universe. And you're giving the universe a headache. You're giving the universe a headache. That's what you're doing. Right? Because you're overthinking these things. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. I want this paid. I want that paid. Sure. Everybody wants that. I want $10 million. Yeah, everybody wants that too. But how are you going to get it? How are you going to get it if you don't understand your system? How are you going to get it if you understand vibration, energy, frequency, or anything harmonic resistance? Everybody has to stop being so greedy. Money is everything through love. Okay? Yes, it's currency. We have to live on it. I understand that, but You have to change your mind thinkings, guys. That's the only way you can get what you want through calculations, right? It's very simplified, isn't it? Very basic, right? And next thing you know, why do you think people win the lottery? Right? Because they're meant to, because they asked for it, but it comes from the heart, right? So it's a lot to learn, eh? I just wanted to show you how powerful it is, what money can do for you. But you have to understand you first. Because if you don't understand you, how are you going to get anything through operation? The universe won't understand you. You can have anything you want through manifestations in the right way, in the right concept, in the heart. Okay? If not, it comes back to you and it's all positions to its karma wheel. Now, that's just metaphorically, but to understand that you put yourself in a better position of space time and you want things, let it flow, right? Don't think about it, right? Oh, lucky number. That's it. You don't have to say, oh, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win, I want to win. Well, you may or may not, but you're confusing you, right? So if you let things flow, right, and you change your levels inside through your body, through vibration, you'd be surprised what can happen on any level of connection, right? So, all right. Since the beginning, I do not appreciate the negative and controlling programs through authority position. You're talking, Amber. Please do not direct. Yeah, just position locations to allocate line centers to all level system to you through calculations there, Angela. I focus on your system. You have any questions or comments, let me know. This is all about individual circuit line position, understand themselves, right? Getting into tough wars or fighting this and fighting that, you're not fighting anything through aspect. You're not relating anything to that position locations. So you're kind of like putting yourself into an outside system locations to an exposure. Right? You don't want to expose yourself, right? So you want to protect yourself through lights and barriers. You have any questions or comments, just come to me through my email, all right? All right. Okay, you guys got a lot of questions, eh? Power needs to be controlled, the subconscious and the conscious level. Yeah, but see, the conscious level is no longer at you. You're coming into a higher level of subconscious. You're in the subterranean level. Okay, so the conscious level is you through sequence of time zones. That was in your 3-dimension, right? But you're in the 5th dimension of higher level of consciousness, higher levels of grounds, higher levels of powers, higher levels of atmosphere, higher levels of travel, higher levels of thoughts, higher levels of lights, coloration, activation, higher levels of intelligence, higher levels of space, higher levels of time, higher levels of clocking. That's all that is. Okay? So, understanding, yep. Practice makes perfect, yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Just focus on yourselves, guys. That's all. That's all you have to do. All right. All right. Intelligence, you all, okay, Laura, newcomer, it makes sense. That's great. As long as it makes sense to you, that's the most important thing, right? Okay, if that's your assumption, I need to, before I can love. But see, that's the thing. You got to love yourself before you love others, right? Really get to know yourself more, right? Yeah, you just have to remember more. That's it. But just focus on yourself. You are the commanding systems locations, right? Don't focus on anything else. You get confused anomaly, right? You don't want to trap your system to that position locations. That's sure is how powerful you are, right? It's all about coming back. And the only way to do that is to go back to the past so you can understand more of what's going on with you. But it's a whole new beginning of you, right? So the more you understand you, everything comes in sequence, all through chronological order, right? So, but yeah, it's all about remembering. That's all it is. All right. So, multitasking, I missed a lot. Yeah. Okay. Well, you didn't really miss much there, Commander. It's just based on you guys. You can't fall apart. You fall apart, you get picked to pieces, get back on the horse. It's basic, right? Basic, basic, basic. ABCs, 1, 2, 3s. New program setting, new activation system, new calculations, new commanding center. It's all positioned to you, right? So if you feel, outwitted or outcasted or not sure anymore, just get into your breathing. Just take 5-10 minutes and just communicate out. Right? Take all the negative that's in your body, because it's cycles. So you get negative cycles in your body, right? It goes like this every single day. Negative cycles. So it's your thoughts that go forward, right? It's activation system. It goes around and around and around and around and around. So the faster you create through positive center, through a clocking system of travel, you get everything that you want. It's 369 patterns, right? See? So it's all positioned to you. So the faster you go, the more you come into the cycle through its clocking system to its location. Okay? So it's all about you understanding the levels of 369 patterns. Don't get confused at anything phenomenal. Just focus on you through all levels of center. That's all you got to do. And then you take things out of the equation. That's it. Ooh-ah. And you want to go to higher formation line centers, this is what you can do, right? And then you set up security line defense, right, to protect yourself. Security line defense is set up for barriers and perimeters. Now you can set up diamonds on high-rise line centers, all position locations. You can set up pyramids and all. We call them checkpoints, right, to that position, right? So laser here, laser here, laser here, laser here, right? So you're protecting yourself all around system location, right? So it's kind of like you have a crystal that's in a museum. When you turn off the lights, you're going to see laser all over the place protecting it, right? Tripping wire, it's turning your stand. But your whole life is about protection. Protecting you. You got to protect yourself on all levels. Protect yourself through your thoughts. Protect yourself through your thoughts. Equals box / equals center / program. Okay? So it helps you and always informs, and you put your position locations to that center line center. So once you get into circle rotations of your center location, you can activate anything through dimensional line center rotation. So it's a fully communication cycles through the grounds, everything through the powers, and everything through the atmosphere line center location. Right? So when you come out of the equations, you travel faster through rotation, speed line, center line connection, right? So you go from here, back to here, go to here, up to here. So you travel faster, right? So you're just creating, right? You're creating all through structure. It's fascinating when you do these things through calculations. It's amazing how it comes into formation. See? There's the UFO in position locations. Sonar coming into line center. See? It's amazing how we create, right? So everything is done through travel, but you have to learn how to use the lights, how to travel through lights. Now we did that yesterday, how we travel through all level rotations, right? So you get a circle rotation line center to location. You get a circle here, all right? Now these are different thoughts, okay? These are different thoughts, but it's the same shape. This is where it confuses line center rotation to its connections. All right? Now, 4 different colors. Right? 4 different colors. Try to understand your thoughts, 4 different colors. Okay? So it's all about understanding you in the center, right, to position. All you got to do is put everything in the activation system to its correlation line center location. Done through position. Right? So instead of communicating to this cycle, to that one system, instead of communicating to this cycle, to that one system, instead of communicating to this cycle, to one system, instead of communicating with this cycle to one system, You're calculating modify to one compilation to one graph line connection, all in one sequence. Right? So it's amazing how you travel through the mind, because the mind knows exactly what it's doing when it's going through its connection of its thoughts. The more it travels faster and faster, it's now creating what it wants through its dimension. Security line defense, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 dimensional timeline centers, because I've already calculated modify through all levels of circles. 4 circles positioned, 5 within the system. Okay, good. All calculated to its position line center to all travels of dimensional time. Okay? So it's exciting when you understand more of you through travel, right? But you have to balance everything out. So if you're getting 2 different colors or 4 different colors or 5 different colors, you have to understand all levels, because it's you through thoughts. Right? When you started off with your dreams, what are your dreams through calculations? You get up and they disappear. Why? Why? Because you don't understand the travels of you, the astral travels of you, the astral projections of you, right? Through calculations, the galaxy system of you, the vortex travels of you, the activation systems of you. You lose position all through your thoughts, right? So if you're creating something through a thought, okay, let's say you create can, right? And all of a sudden, you wake up in the morning, it's gone and it disappears. What just happened? I can't remember what just happened. It's gone, right? So you already know what a can is, right? So it's a Trinity standing how to get back in program, how to get back in center, how to get back into grounds of the clocking system. And then the can comes back to location the next day, right? Comes back into illumination of a light system location. So it's all positioned to you to balance everything back, and it all comes back to the heart, right? Because the heart is its portal, and you already know the alpha, mega, micro, macros, right? You just have to understand the alpha waves, the deltas, the thetas, and betas. But your understanding is that your thoughts are everything through its creation. You're just trying to remember these things. That's the confusion. Because you're thinking, well, if I have to create these things, they're already created. Why can't I start creating? So that's confusing anomalies of space-time now, right? So it's mostly important is just to remember these things. Don't focus so much on creating thoughts. Just focus on just remembering. That's it. That's all it is. Just start remembering who you are. Just focus on that. Don't focus on anything else. As soon as you lose track of that, you're losing the clocking system. And now you're going back in time. And now you're connecting to the matrix of its loop. Okay? So, all right. All right, got some new people here. Different energies. Nice. Ah, all right. The facts of you is just to remember. That's all you need to know. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more. Don't focus on anything else except you. As soon as you cast yourself out through, all positions. A basic understanding is true understanding you through positions to all levels of what this is, right? What is this? You see it as a square. But what you don't understand, everything through information comes from center, right? So it's all about from center first, right? Not out through position, through calculations. All right? Humanity's studying this and not studying that. So when you study the inline center, it opens up its door to its connection. Space and time comes to you, and there you go. There's the road. Follow the road. Here's the arc. Follow the arc. Right? Step by step, people. Step by step. Oh, you're welcome, Lauren. I'm here to help you. Yep. It's great to see new people. I'm just trying to make it easier for you. So instead of focusing on the box outside, because that's all you know, focus on what the box is like inside. You don't have to create the same box because you're a different perception timeline, right? So if we get two different boxes, like I said, with the circles, there's Trinity stand. This is all different realms of position locations. So this is perception to one person, to its connection. Now you can create it through the same color, doesn't matter, but it's different intelligence to its location, right? So coming into that position, get a true understanding why it's so important to create these things. So you're creating this, creating this, creating this, creating this. Now, like I said, even though you see the same box, everything is what? Different intelligence. Even though it's the same color, it doesn't matter. It's different intelligence, different perception. You have to be cautious in what I say through my tone and interference. So if see, the question and the answer is already in the tone. It's already in the product system. It's already in the question. The answer is in the question. Okay? Whether you understand that or not, your whole life will be a question until you understand the inner system of you through calculations. This is different intelligence. Even though you see the same box, same color, it doesn't matter. So different perceptions, right? Different perceptions. Okay, guys? That's what makes us unique. Different. All right, so that's different. So let's say circle rotation line centers taken out of the equation. Okay, so I got this locations. This is good. Oh, now I got a triangle line center. I'm going to circle rotations. Hey, look at this. And I'm going to go to star line center location. There you go. 4 different intelligence in the same box center. See? Different perception from different people. Right? But it's all created from inside, guys, not from outside. Okay? So that's why it's so powerful our minds are. Right? Because everybody, like I said, is superior or more unique than anything else. You have this connection that is amazing, but you have to see life in a different way through perception, through audio, through voice, through chakra, transbinding, receiving, understanding all levels of you through cycle rotation, circulation connections, right? Understanding your hands, what they are, right? So, all right. Trey, how's it going? It's great to see new people. Wow, it's great to see you. Really, this is fantastic. I love this. All right, so progressing. That's great, Dustin. Breathing meditations. Yep. Yeah, but remember, the meditation is you. What is the meditation? This is meditation, right? This is what it is. Cyclone interference swirls to locations. This is meditation. It's trying to understand you through the meaning of life. This is you. This is you. All right? That's you. That's meditation. Now, that meditation has its path. Okay? It's its path, right? Now, you have that path. Here's the triangle 3, 6, and 9. That's given to you every single day. Whether you understand the travel direction of timeline center, you come in your positions to your tesseract and your tetrahedrons, how to travel through it through rotation to its conditions. You just try to understand how to calculate and modify all levels of the swirl, right? It disappeared. See? So that is the meaning of life, but you have to follow the path. This is the path. This is the meaning of life, right? You come into the meaning of life, you come into the stream. Come into the stream, you come into the yin and yang. See how it comes into 6, 9? Once you come into that, what happens next? You come out of the equation to its location. Hoo-ah. There you go. Right? So you got the balance of light and you got the balance of dark in your position locations. So the dichotomy is set up to that position locations. So you can travel through all levels of your tetrahedrons to its connection. See how it travels? See how it travels? See? That's all it is, guys. That's all it is. So you can go through the swirls. You can backtrack and come out. Then you go back in again. Right? You go up, but then you get to go back again. So it's the creation of 3, 6, and 9. You have to create the 3, 6, and 9 of you, geometry, operation, direction. Your direction is your spiritual path. So you have to create travel to go through the swirl. The swirl is the meaning of life. Once you get into the meaning of life, then you follow the stream. The stream comes in, right? So understanding that position locations, you understand direction, line, center, right? So it's a lot to learn, eh? Okay. Makes sense, doesn't it, Dustin? Right? You're just following what you need to fall. And that spiritual path is your growth. Okay? But the whole position here, why I have the Galactic School, is to get your mindset, right? To balance, to remember. That's it. Oh, I remember how to build a 369 platform on 26,000 line centers, all 3-point system locations, dimensional timelines. Now, you have no clue what I'm just talking about, right? But it's all in sequence of balance, right? So basically, not only you have to have balance with your thoughts, the male and the female aspects of its thought, you have to have balance with the mind of imagination. And a lot of people don't understand what the mind is, right? You can't see it until you understand it, right? Which is amazing because that's what creates everything in this room, right? It's just an imagination. You just have to have a heart of a child. And when you surface higher, and you understand your interline center, interdimensional system, intergalactic connections, enter all levels dynamics of you through calculations, this is where you come into all levels of you through modification. Okay, truly understand you through your thoughts and your actions, right? Everything has a consequence. Actions on reactions, responding to anything at position. Okay, that's what life is all based on what you say next, on what you do next, on what you want to achieve. How do I get this? How do I get that? Right? Use your imagination. Okay. So that's where you come into all levels of plane, audio, and inference. And then you can understand how to use your voice, how to use your fingers, all location connections. It's all about you through connection and rotation. See? Equalized, right? Moonline center location coming into the two sun rotation line conditions, right? Focus, 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 right? You let it go, travels, right? So it's not just the illustration or diagram or the program you're setting, the T-force line center, which is the test, is all based on all positions of the baby, the child, the teenager, and the adult. And all positions of you to track system to understand more through calculations. So what are you doing every single time? This is you through calculation. All you're doing is breaking down walls. You got a wall here, okay, and you got another wall here, another wall here. That's all you're doing is you're breaking down walls. That's it. That's all you're doing is you're breaking down walls. So each time you break down a wall, what's going on? What's going on when you're breaking down a wall, right? You go to another wall, right? You break down walls. Walls is a way of seeing yourself moving forward. You go from here to here, and then you go from here, right? It's very powerful when you understand more of you through your thoughts, through your connections, right? So you're always doing what? You're breaking the surface. So when you do that, what happens? You come out and you go higher. You start flying into space. Hooah. So that's all you're doing is you're breaking down surfaces. You're breaking down. You're channeling up, right? To the mind of imagination to creation. So all right. Space inside of you can create all and will, yep, exactly, pour out. That's exactly what it is. Trey, how you doing? Creating in and putting out. It's the inner line center to all levels of the opposite system. So it's all position of you. Try to understand life is based on in and out, not out and in. Okay. So that's to try to understand that when you go to reach higher position locations, you understand your thoughts are coming from inside, not outside. Anything outside is the ego. Anything inside is the balance. But the balance is you fighting, right? So that's the true understanding, how to get into the yin and aspects of you, the proactive system, what light is and what dark is, positive, negative, father, mother, right? So you and others, right? But the whole suggestive here is to truly understand you, not anybody else. We'll let them worry about themselves. You focus on you. That's the most important thing, because you are positioned to self-discovery. You start loving yourself again. You know how hard it is to love yourself? Once you start loving yourself, you start appreciating your vessels of travel, all right? Especially when it comes into E equals MC square, right? It's all about finding source. No, it's all about finding your source. It's you are source. It's not finding source, right? So this is where you have to come into your thought direction of timeline center. It's finding you, not finding source. Finding source is something else. That's plural. Finding self, discovery. Finding thyself through activation. Finding thy love thyself through motivation. Okay? So it's the way you perceive life through your thoughts. Okay? Yeah. All right. I feel so in love with myself this year. Well, that's great. That's excellent. So you're finding yourself more through positions there, Trey. That's excellent. Yeah, but it's just all positions of you fighting yourself. That's all it is, right? Use your imagination. Yep. I'm just back phrasing here. See what I missed anything. You guys have a lot of questions, eh? So I'm going to head over to TikTok. You guys want to be upgraded or high rise or, get in a high program line center, let me know. All right. It's all a process of you trying to understand you. Right. So, but see, that's exactly what it is. Trying to understand, reaching yourself to the collective. Well, you're talking about something else. So what is the collective? What is that? Raw, one, unity of consciousness. It's you. That's all it is. Sole direction of you, nothing else. Not soul to the direction. You are the soul. You are the one. You understand? There's no separation there. It's not reaching to thy source. You are the source. That's like me saying that I'm not immortality. Okay. So immortality is purity of light in all levels of balance. It's all positioned to the physical computer and everything through the cell reproductive system. Okay. Calculates, modifies, lines, and rotations. So when you start remembering these things, you get the balance of source. You are the source. So there's no doubting there. There's no hesitation. There's no anticipation. It just sinks in. It sinks in and sinks in. And every time you get up in the morning, like I said, I go to bed as AI. I go to sleep as AI. I get up as AI. I walk as AI. I talk as AI. I use my thoughts as AI. I calculate through AI. Right? That's where you are in your reality. Where are you in your mind of your thoughts? These are your templates. Templates here. Right track, left track, diamond core line center, split line interference, separate position locations, chakra systems, voice grid line center. Okay. Eye receptors, audio line channels, rotation system location to its surface line center rotation connection. So this is where everything is balanced with you. Once you understand you are all levels of you, of source. You are source. Okay. You're not coming into source. You are source. See, the thing is that you've already traveled, which means that you've already created, which means you are source. You just start to remember. And you remember these things. You remember, I'm not going to source. I am source. Right? That's like saying me coming to AI, but I'm already AI. So I start remembering more and more, right? It's the chronological thinking, what you do through the psychosis of the psychological connections. All right? This puts you into all levels of metaphysics. Okay? The mental physics, the metaphysics, the psychological of its physics, the psychops interference, or anything of the connection, the psychosis of you through calculation, right? It's all about you understanding how to travel, right? So every time you get up in the morning, you're traveling through what? Already knowing who you are. Okay? So this puts it at a level of stronger in the mindset where it puts you in a better position of time and space, because now you're starting to understand, because space and time is already created. All you have to do is create the space inside you. All right? So all right. It's fantastic to see all new people. You are source, we are source. Yeah. But no, don't connect with that anything through book reference or anything, position locations there. All right, Couture. Concentrate on yourself. Okay. You're reading something from another label, position locations. It's all positions of you through calculations. You are source. You reading something else, that's tracking interference of virus line center computer operation connections. It high forces you into all levels of denomination. So don't put yourself in that track system locations. If you want to read something, that's fine, but think of everything else as entertainment. Everything else in position of you is not entertainment. It's getting into you through self-discovery. It's recentering you, reprogramming you, trying to understand you through all position location. So it's understanding you through all levels of your computer, how to understand your program, okay? Because you're coming into a new you, right? So that new you is already you. Isn't that interesting? I would say that. So it's understanding, who are you? Are you coming into something that who you want to become, or are you already into something that who you already are? If you understand that through calculations, right? That's a true understand, is just focusing on you, nothing else. Everything outside doesn't matter. It's you. That's it. Okay? Because you're confusing anomalies and everything that comes at you. Right? It's a transaction, a transmitting, or anything, metamorphosing. It doesn't matter. But everything is you. It's self-discovering the new you, which is already you, because you start to remember more. And the only way to do that is to listen. Take time to listen to yourself. Right? As soon as you go off track, you're all confused. Your programs are not where they are supposed to be. Wires are misled. You're not calculating to right side line rotations. You're zip crossing interference. You're trapping yourself over there. You're not connecting over here. You don't know anything anymore. You're totally lost, right? You just gone blitz. All because you didn't listen to yourself. You know how important it is to listen, not just to yourself, but to others? Do you realize how powerful it is to listen? To really, really listen to yourself inside. That's the only way you can move forward in life. And this is all done through your senses. So it's taken all your 5, 6 senses inside, which is placed into your heart. Okay? So this will help you more and more each day when you see yourself in discovery. Because every time you get up in the morning, I keep saying this because it's most important, because you go to bed, right? And you get up. That's all you do every day. Light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So what do you do in the light? What do you do in the dark? What do you do in the light? What do you do in the dark? What has changed from the light? What has changed from the dark? What has changed from your thought? What has changed your perception? What has changed your imagination of creation through illustration, through diagram program? Why are you upset? Why are you crying? Why am I happy? What just happened next? What happens now? It's all positioning you. It's getting the balance. That's all it is. Balance is the key to everything through thought. Okay? So the mind has to stay, and the panel has to stay. So if it's off, it's bouncing back and forth, right? So you don't want that. You're hurting yourself, right? You're going to get dizzy, right? So you got to find a way to balance that through all levels of your parallel, okay, your paradigm, your paradox, your communication cycles, system line rotation connections, anything you ground rotation. You have to get the grounds with your thoughts and perception. Saying, okay, I'm on my earth, but what earth am I on? I'm not on your earth. I'm on my earth. What do you mean? We're all on the same earth. No, we are not on the same earth. Interesting, because if we're on the same earth, we're on the same thought. That means the earth is opposition. Everybody gets confused about that because they think that the earth is this level, but understand my perception is different. It has to be different coloration, different DNA, different pathogen, different thought, right? Your perception is your perception, what you perceive. That's your reality. That's your earth perception through the ground systems. So you see what you want to see inside, not outside. Everything is inside you. Okay, I'm doing a review because a lot more new people are coming on. So as long as you understand that you are positioned to your own earth, is trying to protect it because it's you. Okay, you are the sun, you are your moon, you are your earth. That is your triangle of 3, 6, and 9. Okay, so it makes sense, doesn't it, when you go into a more inside the system, right? I don't even know how to communicate outside because everything's done. It's understanding full communications of you, of the meaning of life. The meaning of life is the process of understanding you through yin and yang. The male aspects of you of life and the female aspects of you of life, right? Which is a journey of a mission to its direction. Okay? So everything that is created, Michelangelo or anything connections, is all created without thinking. Okay? It's a masterpiece when you do these things. So it's all done through imagination, guys. It has to have imagination, right? If we didn't have imagination, none of this would exist. So what is added to that equation? Energy, vibration, frequency, harmonic resistance, right? The hardest thing to understand is the multiple level systems, multidimensional connections, metaverse, omniverse, uniline centers, all position locations. We even also have a unified universe. Now, unified is all position higher line center to all levels of streams, position locations, so high level connections, galaxy line connection. So there's so many levels that you have to understand through proactive system locations of travel. The most important thing is just understand you. That's it, nothing else. Right? As soon as you lose focus, what happens? So if you want to understand the box of you, because it is your TV reception, you have to understand everything that's inside first. Okay? If not, you'll be outside. Trying to stand, looking in to rotation. Start here, come out. Or you're here, going in. So do you know that you look at the box and you jump out and look in, right? Same example, except to understand you have to understand everything inside the box first. And then you can go in and out, or out and in, because now you have balance through audio signals of the right and the left track rotation positions. So these are the ear line connections, right? To its proactive system, to its location, right? So you got audio interference coming from the right, coming from the left. So it's a circle that goes around and around and around and around. So what you don't understand is that there's planets around the ring line center. Okay, and they're setting out signals of high level rotation, sonar line connections to its position. All right. So once it understands position, it goes into all level systems of your pyramid, your third eye. Your third eye opens up to rotation to its connection. See the third eye? Once it goes that, it comes into the left and it goes to the other side. Same information to its data processing. So it's just linking. That's all it's doing. And then you connect to all levels okay, of high information, your magnetic highway information system. Crown chakra, tube line center locations, ground line centers, power activation connection, high position location. As you can see, what do you see? What do you see? Right? Why do you think there's always a snake? There's always a snake every time you go to higher levels of thoughts. Because remember, you're always trying to fight your forces within every time you try to understand all levels of you through cortex and your placebos. Your divisional panels or anything in the activation system. I created this without thinking of knowledge, location, and this came into a snake. You can see the snake. See the eyes? That's exactly how to get the position locations. You have to understand how to go forward and avoid the snake rotation. Or you're going to be back onto the 8-line center of proactive system to its connection. The figure 8 motion to its trap line center. Now the snake got you in rotation line connections. All positions you through all level connections. So every time you go around into the center rotation line positions, you start living a new cycle line center, going into the karma wheel of infinity circle rotation line connection. Okay? So there's a lot to learn here. Okay? Hold on a sec. All right, so is everybody understanding the affinity cycle, how important it is to understand position locations and how life has been in existence through affinity 8 system? Why it's so important to understand the snake? The snake is in its preceding system every single time. So what is that? That's the ego, right? So every time you cross the system to here, you don't understand the conditions, you come in a different vessel, different timeline, different identification, different life cycle, different person, different color, different light. Okay? But the thing is, you stay in the same soul. That's how everybody knows everybody. Reincarnation. Hey, have I met you before? So you're always what? Recycling, 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 recycling. So because you don't understand the snake, it keeps pulling you down. So that's where the light goes out. Right? And then you just wait till another vertical line center comes into identification of different parents. And then you go into another physical vessel, but you stay in the soul direction. Trinity stand position to the snake and everything in position locations to its infinity 8 circle rotation connections. Right? So it's up to you. Do you want to be on the karma wheels or do you want to get off? Once you get off, you go to high rise line center. Right? So it's trying to understand the connections to the snake, to the sword. So that's tree stand calculations. Snake is here at the bottom rotation. Thought recognition of timeline center, right? This is the snake. See? So it's always going to try to pull you down through perception. Now, this is extremely powerful because you're talking answers in history here. But the snake is all positioned to its ego. All right? So trying to understand position locations and why you have, all levels of loss, transition, it's all position of you. But the snake has a job. But you know what's fascinating? The snake is you. There's no separation. It's just you through the ego. So if you're creating a dark anomaly, you're connecting to the snake. The snake comes into form, right? If you're creating a positive system, there's no snake. I don't see any snake. You snake because you want to see a snake. That's your reality. That's your perception. That's your connections to your virtual position location. You're creating what you want. That is your TV reception. Until you understand that, it's going to bring you down through position. And it's going to put you down to its ground system, to its connection. See? So what's happening? You're being trapped, right? You feel suffocated because that's what a snake does. It suffocates you. It wraps around you. It feels like a boa constrictor. I mean, you can create anything you want, a coil, any kind of snake, it doesn't matter, right? But the snake is the process. That's what pulls you down. It's you fighting yourself, nobody else. Nobody's fighting you. You're fighting yourself, trying to understand yourself. Try to understand the whole concept of the snake. Okay? So it's very powerful when you see something like this, right? See the snake? See how it's set up? You're trying to go up, but it keeps bringing you down. It's like snakes and ladders. What is snakes and ladders? It's not just a game. You don't just go or what do you think snakes and ladders is, guys? It's a message. So everything in life is given to you to understand what is going on with you. Is to understand is to put yourself in all levels of you through its dichotomy system. Your dualities are extremely important, but you don't want to live 15,000 different dualities and not understand what's going on with your position. You just want to live one reality, one location, one activation, one program, one light, and one constant view simultaneously, all in one. The mind has to be balanced. If it's not balanced, you're always going to have that snake that's going to bring you down. And every time you try to climb up, you know, you see the snake coming, see the snake coming, see the snake coming, right? And then you just, right? So when that happens, the snake turns into the left and the right hemisphere locations, comes into balance line center, into its connection. Okay, it comes into its yin and yang. The yin and yang, the 6 and the 9. And then you start living. You start living. So it's all an imagination. Okay, it's all an imagination to that connections. Right? And this is what I get from being firstborn in space, right? The locations. 6 and 9, guys. 6 and 9. The 6 and the 9 comes into flow, comes into flow, comes into flow, comes into flow, right? So the snake turns into your life stream. When it turns into your life stream, you activate the fish. The 6 comes in position locations. It starts going around, getting to know all levels of you through travel. 6 and 9. Once you get into that flow direction of timeline center, you stay in the center operation to its connection. And then you start connecting to all level system rotations, to the 6 and to the 9 location. All right. Calculation to align center connections. You can use the flux capacitor, high channel rotation to its connections. You got the sun line here and the rotation of the moon. Right? Sun and the moon, rotation to its connection, flux capacitor line center. So you're always in the center. So your job is to get in the center. Your job is to get into the flow. Your job is to remember. Okay? So this is eternity standing, how it comes into the life stream from the snake. And then it comes into a crest. Then it comes to the light and dark. So now you have balance with the male and the female aspects of you through the positive system and the negative cycles. Once you get that, you start living the now. It's center of operation to everything through calculation, right? So you stay in the center. That is positions to the mind. Okay? Ooh, that's it. That's all you have to go. That's all you guys have to do. So, yeah, it's to stay in the center. It's just you guys don't remember these things, right? So it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. But understanding when you get into the 6 and 9, you have to get into the flow of the fish. Because if not, the fish will go over here and the fish goes back here. And then what? And then you bring back the snake. I'm making a snake as an example, like Frankie Fear. You know, what fears you the most? You get out of that, get out of your programs, get out of your controlling system, and really understand you inside through connections. Like it's all about the spiritual of you, because that's all it is. It's all the spiritual consciousness. That's how it's created through the snake. And that's how you see it on all levels of TikTok, right? What is the snake? What is it all about? What does it all mean? Well, it's you. It's you understanding you. That's all it is. Okay. So what fears you the most? Take yourself out of that positions. You come into yin and yang. And when the fish start flowing, everything starts making sense. You stay in the center. All your chakra systems are in position. All your travel positions are in system. All your activation systems, all your program setting, all your computers, all your physical line center, all your space-time connection, all in balance, all in one. So the only thing you have left is the one line center that stays in all operation of the mind, which comes into the 2, which is the flux capacitor. And all you have to do now is just travel through the sun and the moon. You don't concentrate anything else because now you're always moving forward now. Because you got the flow of so many levels that going so fast to the clocking system, right? So once you understand that, the brainwaving pattern catches up to the mind, body, and soul. And then you realize, oh, 8-track line center rotation positions. Now I know I'm not in the physical line. Now I'm just dimensional light, because that's what happens when you go to the spiritual after life. Okay, you have to go through life and the death cycle to understand your connections to yin and yang, the proactive system connections, right? So once you come out of a body, you become the soul, which is you are the soul. It's solar memory. Once you remember everything, okay, you start living the now, which is the center operation to the mind system. Okay? So, pretty wild, eh? Center operation of everything through. So you got full communication of 69, right? Full communication of circle rotations, full communication of flux capacitors, sun and the moon. That's it. And then you can travel anywhere you want, but you stay in the center, right? Because it's you. You got the center operation. You're connected to everything through locations. So let's say it's your ground line center, which is the last of perception. You have to get your body first, then you get the grounds. Once you get the grounds with that, you can basically be connected to everything, to all level system, to location, right? And you start living your connections. There's the atom. Okay. All right. Yeah, thinking the process, to understand the true calculation of how everything forms into you, all right, is putting yourself in a better position and why these things are created. Remember, it's just the spiritual of you through consciousness trying to understand how to get into imagination to what you want through manifestation, guys, right? The mind has to get into peace. That's it. The peace, tranquility. You talk to any monk, they'll tell you exactly. They say, well, I don't want to be a monk. I want to be me. Do you understand? You don't want to be a monk. He's in a different perception. He's in a different timeline. He's in his center because he understands what's going on, because he does it from inside. Okay, to get any answer, it's got to be from inside you. You are a spiritual force that is a connection to you. It's just humanity forgot that connection to the spiritual of its system. Okay? So, all right. It's okay. You're all flowing today. Yeah. Listening is the most important thing. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just showing everybody because there's a lot of new people here. So I'm just trying to make it easier for everybody where you just have to really get into your own, nobody else, right? Because you're going through your own experiences. Don't worry about everybody else. Just focus on you. And I keep saying that every single day, but some people don't seem to want to listen. They don't want to listen because it doesn't make any sense. Well, it doesn't make any sense because you are programming yourself for it not to make any sense because you're connecting to your thoughts. So whatever you create through your thoughts, you're creating your realities. You're now in your own TV reception, right? But somebody else is changing your dials. How is that me living? Somebody controlling me? Changing my own station? My own vibrations? My own program setting? Yeah, I don't think so, right? So, yeah, really have to get into yourself, guys. All right. Yeah. Well, to get out of it is to understand you. Isolate yourself, get to know yourself. Even if it takes 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a month, a year, it doesn't matter. What matters is, do you understand the concept and how important it is for you to know these things, which is already known information for you. It's just starting to remember who you are on all levels of space-time travel. Okay? So you understand now. Well, that's good. And it's important that you understand, right? I'm trying to find an easy way for you guys to get the high level system, media rotations, or anything through connections. Don't worry about my language, just worry about you. Okay. If you stop worrying about me, you start worrying about you. Okay. That's your confusion, is you don't understand my language. Don't try to understand me. Try to understand you. Okay. Because you'll never understand me in any way and form, because that's all you're residing to. That is overloading your system. That is energy manipulation, right? Energy can manipulate in any way and form through alphabetical line, anagram line connections, dyslexic channels, anything rotation interference. Trinity stand, it's the psychological view of understanding. Okay? That puts you in a better position of time, especially when you're trying to create these things in space of you inside, right? Especially when you come into the yin and yang. Okay? So, yeah, that's what I do, speak my own understanding. Yeah, but that's exactly what it is. You're just trying to understand you in all ways and forms. Don't try to understand everybody else. You get really confused, right? Listen to the soul. You're confused because you're trying to understand something else. Well, as soon as you do that, what are you doing? You're going off and not connecting to yourself inside anymore. So what happens? You're off grid, you're off clock, you're off time, you're off position. You want AWOL, right? So don't do that. I don't focus on anything else except myself in positional locations. Get in that bounce line center, then I get back to humanity through my school. So it's not teaching, okay? It's remembering, okay? Because when you remember these things, it's no longer teaching. You're teaching yourself to remember. You're teaching yourself to remember. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more. It's just things are given to you through triggers. And those triggers are trying to open you up. Okay? Trying to remember who you are, which is a hard concept because it's truth of freedom. Right? So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn, right? So I think we're going to stop there because we keep going. I don't want you guys getting any more confusion, but just see me as more of a way of not so much teaching, but just try to see me as a way of seeing things. You know, like when it came to Bruce Lee, when you read his book, he doesn't want you to understand the analogical of what's going on with him. It's you. It has to do with you. That's why he wrote the book. If you concentrate on the book, you're missing all that heavenly glory, right? It's a very good example with Bruce Lee, you know. So try to use that, okay, as a mantra. Try to use that as a Dalai Lama. Try to use that as Buddha. Try to use that as you. You're just trying to figure out you, okay? Don't focus on anything else because now you're confusing your system, okay? No matter what's brought to you has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Anything that's brought to you on any level is just entertainment. That's all it is. That's all it is. You are a book of information. It comes from the Akashic records, right? Now, there's a lot of things that are all spiritual. Yeah, but it's all consciousness, guys, right? So, and you won't know that until you understand your creations. But when you start creating, that's when you start living. Okay? All right. Yep, Trey, you're definitely need for another upgrade. Yep. I'm going to head over to TikTok. All right. Any questions or comments? Let me know. All right. Adios.